So today the focus is shifting from creation to training, and then by the school state teams and the school teams, implementation in the school. Okay. So what does that mean, and why are we taking it up at this point in time during this meet? Are we giving it a priority than what we did in the past, and so on and so forth? To answer those questions, it's a I should be speaking away from the mic.
You have to come. People are not able to see.
Oh, what a sad thing, no? So we are barely a year away from Swami's centenary year celebration. Okay, so there is an endeavor from the entire Satya Sai Vidya Vahini team, which includes content creators, trainers, schools, and all the stakeholders, which includes the teachers, the management, the principal, and everyone who's involved in Sri Satya Sai Vidya Vahini. It's a joint offering to Bhagwan that we will be working towards a lighthouse school. Okay, a LHS will be across 12 schools that have come forward to take the to join in this particular centenary year celebration. So today we are taking a step forward for implementation, towards implementation for the LHS. Of course, it's going to continue. It's not a full stop, it's a beginning, right? So what is it that we need to do? So we realize that we need to, that is when I use the word we, the content team also needs to pitch in and step in the implementation program. Okay, so we have worked towards a new role, a new responsibility for the content authors, which is not a responsibility. Look at it as a beautiful opportunity to take the content, because ultimately the proof of the pudding is in the, so unless the content that is created is consumed, unless the child has had the joy of experiencing what it is to go through this learning process, we will not have any completion. It remains somewhere, you have to complete that cycle by only when the child in every classroom is able to get the joy that you want them to get, you have visualized. It has to go and get transferred and ultimately show its result there. Okay. Therefore, this additional opportunity that comes in the way of the content team, alongside the training team and the state implementation team, will be a little better understood and taken forward by the training team today. Okay, so you will be able to know what that additional opportunity will entail and to what extent you are able to participate. Many of you have been doing it. I know there are many who have been observing classes. We call it as classroom observation. Okay, we are doing that. But how structured will it be? How will it be taken forward? We have the training team lead, Chandra, taking us forward, and the entire team will be working to give us a better understanding on the implementation, the process for implementation. Thank you. Enjoy yourself. Look forward to your whatever. Okay. And all the very best. Sairam, over to you, Chandra. Sairam.
Om Shri Sai Ram, with loving pranams at Swami's lotus feet. It is, as Suhasini ma'am just said, it's a lovely beginning. So nice to be here. Just being here is, right? It's always a new beginning for something, right? So today um, we are going to look at another new approach to ensuring that all this sadhana that the content team members have done, we try to bring that prasadam to the children through the teachers, through the schools, right? So we are so fortunate today that many of the Lighthouse School representatives are also here, except for one or two who couldn't be here for various reasons. Most of the Lighthouse schools are also represented here today. So today, we have the opportunity to bring together everybody, and we are going to look at some new approaches that we are uh, considering, so that we can all work together and figure out how best to make it work. All right. So we have realized, I think it's been a few years now that we have realized that it is not enough if our teachers download our content and use a few slides in the classroom. That is not going to bring about the real change that we want to see in our teaching learning experience. Right? The teaching learning experience needs to be more fulfilling for the student and the teacher, right? It is not that we are going to keep on increasing the pressure on the teacher, okay, so that you do this also, you do more of this, you do more of that, without any empathy for the teacher. That is not how we operate, because Swami's mandate to the training team of Vidyavahini has been to do Guru Seva. Okay, so we are here to re-establish the position of the teacher as the guru in the classroom, right? Wherever we go, we hear this, that students are not respecting us. The teachers keep telling us, right? Students are not respecting us. So how do we bring that respect back? That respect will come naturally when students start receiving something meaningful from the teachers. Just think about it, right? Whom do we respect? We respect people from whom we get something meaningful, something that touches us, right? Then we get respect when we are able to. What is going on over here? Okay, sorry. Good, good. I am happy. I am not seeing something. Okay. Okay, that's funny. Yeah, I know. I think that was a good icebreaker, brother. Thank you. Okay, so we are figuring out ways in which we can. One is ensure that the quality of teaching learning experience improves. For that, through our content, and that happens without mm, burdening the teacher. Okay, they have to understand first, they have to take that one step out of their comfort zone, step into the LMS, look at our content, and realize that, oh, this actually makes my life easier. Okay, so for that, we figured a few steps in between might help. All right, so those couple of steps are, one is classroom observation. Okay, this we have started last academic year itself, we piloted it. So this year also, to some extent, we are trying to bring in, okay, classroom observation. Now, classroom observation should happen in two ways. One is the school administration, principal, vice principal, academic coordinator, management, whoever is, you are doing that, okay. Because every time I touch this, something is happening. So, all right. So they need to do classroom observation. Okay, whoever is managing the school whoever is responsible for the school, they need to do classroom observation. All right. Other than that, we are also offering to do classroom observation on behalf of the school also, because most of our schools are not able to employ that many academic coordinators who can do classroom observation and provide that support to the teachers in enhancing their teaching learning experience in the classroom. Okay, so we are providing that team which each school actually needs. So we are creating a larger team and spreading that across the 12 lighthouse schools. Okay, so that is what we are trying to do now. Okay, so now we will talk a little bit about the overall role of the SSSVV academic coordinator. Okay, so when you sign up to be an academic coordinator for SSSVV, we are looking at two main roles as of now. Okay, one is to transition the teacher from a mechanical lesson plan that they are doing now. I'm sure many of you must have seen how lesson plans happen in our typical Indian school. I'm not talking about the big shot schools. Okay, I'm talking about the school where the fees are, somewhere between 300 and 3,000. Those ranges of schools. If just to update for those who are not familiar, either they are not really using any lesson plans, okay, or they are creating the lesson plans for the entire next day in half an hour. Okay, so imagine a teacher is teaching 6 different 40-minute periods the next day if she is lucky. Otherwise, she is teaching 7 periods the next day. There are many schools who are not able to give even 1 period break to the teacher. Okay, so that means that half an hour lesson planning is taken out of their personal time. Okay, they have to go home and finish all their work, maybe 10:30, 11 at night when they are able to come and open their lesson plan book. They create, how much time will they spend? Half an hour. Okay, so under TLMs, they are writing NCERT textbook, blackboard, chalk piece and duster. Fact, I have taken a picture because I wanted to see it again to believe it. Okay, so that is what they think are TLMs. Okay, so now you can see the journey ahead of us, right? What we understand as TLMs and what they are seeing as TLMs, we can see that gap over there, that deep chasm that we need to cross. Right now, can we expect the teachers who are this overworked to cross that on their own? It is very difficult for them because they don't even see the reason for crossing. Right, that itself is not visible there. That beautiful teaching experience that awaits them when they actually plan ahead and go into the class without that stress that, oh, I didn't even plan, what am I going to do, right? So that chasm is there. So we want all of you to come forward to hold the teacher's hand so that they feel that confidence that, okay, somebody is there with me to take me across. All right. So that is the role of academic coordinator. One is that helping the teacher to create these lesson plans and also to bring out that creativity of the teacher into that lesson plan, their innovative ideas. So many of them have so many years of experience, right? So why not cash in on that? So bring their experience, their ideas into the lesson plan, encourage them to bring their ideas into the lesson plan. Am I standing too close? And then the second role is to do the classroom observation. So now the teacher has created a lesson plan and he or she is going and teaching in the classroom with that plan. Okay. Now in that plan, we have objectives. Are they teaching in a way that those objectives can be met? Okay, so for that, we are going to do classroom observation and then sit with the teacher and provide that feedback in a very empathetic way with non-violent communication, right? So that they can take those inputs and again after 2 months, the same academic coordinator will again observe the same teacher and you can see that progression in the teacher as their competencies and skills improve over time. Okay, so that is the whole idea. The two main roles of academic coordinator are: one, support the teacher, handhold the teacher as we transition them into a more meaningful lesson planning. For this, we are going to request the schools to provide a lesson planning week or 4 days of lesson planning before school reopens for the next term. Okay, so during that time, we will be requesting a few of the academic coordinators to be available on call during those 3 days or 4 days. To be available, you can do a relay, right? Morning 2 hours, somebody is available. The next 2 hours, somebody else is available. But we can be there to help them to create those lesson plans. And the core of those lesson plans will be the 7 assets from our LMS. All right. So that is the first part. And the second part is to do classroom observation, check whether whatever has been planned, okay, is being delivered, and then give feedback to slowly improve their um, classroom teaching. Okay. And here we have two important tools. What are they? Any ideas? Okay. But I'm talking about something at a very higher level. Shraddha and Sabri. Okay, we have to do this with a lot of dedication and a lot of patience. Right? When you are taking somebody along a path where they don't even know why they are going there, it needs a lot of patience from our side. All right. Okay. So now I have warned that what was the red cap, the emotional cap, and we will go on to the other aspects. So did you get the overall idea of what the role is about? Any questions at this point? Okay. So now what we will do is we will before that, what we have done is we have enabled this whole process through the LMS. Okay, so the lesson plans will be created on the LMS by the teacher. So there is no, you didn't send me, I did not receive, I already sent you the mail, send it by WhatsApp, none of this business. Okay, so everything the teacher will get on the LMS with their tablet or their phone and create the lesson plan on the LMS. And then it will be there. All the academic coordinators will have access to that. So you go there, look at the lesson plan, review it. So you know that next Monday you are going to observe, one teacher in Macharla school. Okay, science teacher in Macharla school, and you are the science academic coordinator. You say you are available that day. You are going to observe. Okay, so now you just go to that teacher's lesson plan. It will all be there. You go to that teacher's lesson plan, review it, and you have all the points ready written down for you to look out for. Okay, so the teacher has said that she is going to do so and so quiz or an activity for introduction, or she is going to do something. So you have all of that written down ready, and then you observe, and then when the teacher is doing the say the teacher is doing a quiz, you see that there is some, the teacher is facing a little bit of a difficulty because of some unruly children. So we have a solution with us. There is a classroom management tool that we already have. Okay, so you can later, after that session, you can walk the teacher through that process. Okay, so this is how you can use this tool, because the teachers have all already done the course on the LMS. But how to take it from the LMS to the classroom, they need a little bit of hand holding. Right. So you can give the little bit of hand holding to the teacher, and then maybe next time again, when you're observing the teacher, maybe the teacher attempts to use that technique in the class. You can observe that and you can compliment the teacher. See, you have already used this. So these 3 steps you did correctly. The 4th step, maybe can you add a little bit more? That will help you. So now we are actually directly helping the teacher to you take the techniques and tools and use them in the classroom. Is that clear? Okay, all right. So now we will look at the, I can minimize the Zoom window, right, brother? So now we are going to look at the LMS and look at the lesson plan. So those of you who have LMS downloaded on your phone, you can open the chapter. Now I need a suggestion for, okay, how many of you are familiar with, there is one chapter in 7th class CBSE about food. What is the chapter called? Food and nutrition. Is that what it is called? 7th class science CBSE. 6th class. Huh? Food and nutrition. I looked at it yesterday. I'm not able to recall the name. Science content. There is some voice disturbance coming from another device. Somebody trying to say something? Ganga sister is there on the call. Nutrition chapter is in 6th. Okay, shall we take that chapter? Is everybody comfortable with that chapter? I know people from all subjects are there. That's why I want to take a chapter that all of us are kind of familiar with. Right? Food and nutrition, I'm sure all of us are familiar with. So, one thing we will need to do is we will need to open this. I want to minimize this. I want to move the Zoom thing down so that I can, I want to open 2 windows of the LMS, because on one we will look at the classroom content and another. Duplicate. This one. I want to duplicate this window and place it on the side. Signed in. So what we will try to do is we will try to fill that one lesson plan. Okay. So now we have split our lesson plan into 2 parts. Okay. Sairam, please listen very carefully. Otherwise, this will become a problem. We have split our lesson plan into 2 parts. The first is an overall chapter plan. Okay. That is a quick plan. Okay. I'm going to teach this asset, how many periods I have for teaching this chapter, one decision. Another decision is, in the first period, I'm going to take these 2 assets. The second period, I'm going to take these 3 assets. Third period, I'm going to do my own activity. Fourth period, I'm going to do these 3 assets. That kind of a decision. That's all that, and any innovative ideas that I have, I can record on that. That is all the teacher is going to do in the first sheet. Then for every 40-minute period, we have another teaching plan. Okay, so for every 40-minute period, they will fill one sheet where they will add more details. How am I going to start the class? What kind of class starter I'm going to use? Okay, so those kinds of things. All right, so those details we will discuss in the post-meet sessions. It is too much for one day. Okay, so those structures we will discuss in the post-meet session. I just want you to just have a quick look at how the teacher will be filling the chapter teaching plan, the simpler overall one. So once you log in, you go into training, and there you will find SSSVV Lighthouse School Program. You'll need to click there. School representatives also please make note of the path. It is courses, all courses, training, then SSSVV Lighthouse School Program. After you enter that, we have this teaching plan maker. Okay. So you click on that, it is self-enroll. So the first time you will have to self-enroll. We are not blocking any enrollment. Then you have to go to the chapter or unit teaching plan. Okay, then you click on this. This will take you to a Google form. So you want to read this? I will just hold it there on the screen. Sorry. Suddenly internet has become slow. Yes. All right. Shall I move on? So then you click on this form link. It will take you to a Google form. We are trying to refine this process a little more and make it look a little more interesting and inspiring. But as of now, this is the best we have. So we are working with it. So here, the teacher's account also, email ID will get recorded so that the system can email the plan to the teacher. Okay. So the teacher has to provide the email ID. So I'll provide mine. Then I provide my name. Okay. Subject. Science, right? It's class 6. Okay. Science. Class 6. So now I will go and look for the chapter. I will go into classroom. I will go into teaching resource. And then CBSE. Class 6. Science. This one. Okay. Components of food. Okay.
I go.
Okay, I'm trying to mute somebody who's food. Where does it come from? All right. Okay, then we open the MLP. So let us just say that it might take 5 periods to teach this or 4 periods. Okay, so now I'm going to write the name of the chapter. Food, where does it come from? All right. Then the number of 40-minute periods planned, let us say 4 periods. Okay. And then here, this is where the big change is happening. Till now, when when teachers have been creating lesson plans, how have they been creating? Even in the CCDP, how have they been creating? Based on the content in the textbook. So their entire plan has been, this is the content in the textbook. This is how I am going to teach. That's all. But now we are looking at it from a very different perspective. These are the learning objectives that I want the students to attain through this chapter. And however, we have to switch from learning objectives to specific learning outcomes. As per Dakshayani sisters' advice, we will be doing that. Okay. So what are the specific learning outcomes that my students will attain when I teach this chapter? For that, what is the guidance provided to the teacher? Our MLP. right? So this they cannot find anywhere else. They will have to come to our MLP for this, right? So they go to the MLP, and here the first MS, right? Increase. All right. So student will be able to recognize ingredients present in the dish. That's what I'm trying where to minimize. Objective asset only. Okay. Thank you. Control plus. Thank you. Thank you. Okay. So here now what we do is we take. Okay, I feel my children already know how to recognize ingredients present in a dish. Let us say that. Okay, so I feel that is not necessary. So I'm going to, or I've decided I'm going to do an activity for that. I'm not going to take this asset. So I am going to, but still I will need that learning outcome to be here. Okay, so here I will write students okay, let us do that. And then the next one. Now, can somebody else give an input? I've been talking for too long. Is there on the screen? Can you give me an input? What would be the next learning? Identifies sources of food. Okay. So student will identify sources of food, let us say. Okay. Then student will prepare tasty food. Now that is that an easy thing? We are all still trying after so many years. Rashri sister, yes. Enjoy the taste of food. Okay. Okay. Infer the importance of food. Okay. No, anyway, we can take the objective from here and modify it according to our need. Okay. So infer the importance of food. Okay. Okay. So now one more. Yes. No, the assets will depend upon what objectives I'm setting for myself. That is how you work. Okay. So you identify the objectives that you are setting for yourself in the class, the teacher. Right? The teacher, sorry, appreciates the food. Okay. Is it? Appreciates okay. So now the teacher, let us assume, yes, Saina? Can't hear you.
Saira, we selected 40 minutes period, right? So when we enter the objectives, that should include all the objectives, right?
Yes, all the 4 periods, because this is an overall chapter plan.
Okay.
So
and is there any limit, like how many, like if we keep on entering, how many?
it will keep going. No problem. It will keep going.
Oh.
Saira. Yes, we are supposed to. Now we are just doing as a sample, right? The teacher will be filling all the objectives. Unless the teacher has a different idea, okay, or if the teacher feels, no, my children cannot do this. This is too much for them. Okay, so then the teacher might select a lower objective. All right, sorry, learning outcome. See, I can feel her glaring at me from there. Okay, learning, a specific learning outcome. Okay, then now once I just stopped at 4. That is not because 4 for 4 periods, no. Just because let us move on. We have a lot more to discuss. Okay, so that's why. All right, so now after filling in the objectives, now the teacher has to think. Sairam, any questions from here? Mike?
Yeah, please go ahead. Choose the objectives from this list, or they will write the objectives. Whatever they answer, but add it.
Both are allowed. Both are okay. But this is an easier way for them. This is an easier way for them. Taking it from our MLP. Right? This is easier because it is ready. Yes. Yes, it is a package. It is available. Right? Yes, ma'am.
Please speak in the mic, no? Please,
No, 1 second.
Do they basically start with choosing the assets,
No, no.
suitable assets?
No, no. Your assets will be chosen based on what are your teaching objectives. Whatever your objectives are, why you are teaching this chapter, what is it that I want my students to attain, what outcomes I want them to attain, based on that I will choose the asset.
Then
Right.
again, we have to move the text, what the benefit, or how is that?
So after preparing this lesson plan, after taking all the assets from here, the teacher can go through the textbook, and if she feels that anything from there she wants to add or replace, that thing can be done.
Thank you.
Right? That can be done, but what we are recommending is you can just take from the lesson MLP and teach. It is possible. Right? Sign up.
The question about conclude, that advocacy, all these are that conclude means. Should they identify and mention the nature of what exactly that means?
Conclude the food that animals.
Saira, as far as the objectives given here are concerned, please do go with it, because unless you read it inside the asset, you will not know what it is. They are not learning outcomes from the learning outcome document given by NCERT. This is our own objectives we created for every single asset. Every single asset, for all you know, the tasty food part of it could be an interesting asset. Okay, the question that was raised was, what does that have to do with your with the title that you are being objective main learning outcome that you want to attain? All those are could be assets. Let us say each one of them is a different type of asset, and each one of them has a different objective to meet. So unless you open and see the asset, you won't know what it is. Right? Going forward, what we discussed yesterday, we will put out the curricular goal and learning outcome and competency to be attained. Based on that, you will perhaps get a different module. But at this point in time, okay, what is it? The teacher says, oh, this looks very interesting, let me open and see. And that is the object.
Yes, that is our outcome, our desired outcome. Right?
One small when I was reading through this objectives, it looks like most of these objectives can also develop as a learning outcome. Correct? Now, do we need to go with the curricular goal and then get into this one, or can we just choose a learning outcome?
I feel that we need not look at that. Learning outcome actually is enough for us. And only thing that we need to keep in mind is when we are selecting the learning outcome, it is aligned with the assessment, which is SMART. Your learning outcome has to be measurable. It should be SMART, without which it will not make any sense. Learning objective need not be measured. As man said, appreciate, wonderful objective. Children will be able to appreciate how do you measure the appreciation. Understand how do you measure the appreciation. So take the Bloom's 10 words, which are measurable, specific, time bound, and then that should be your assessment base. So first you start, as Chandran said, we are going to start with learning outcome and then map the assets and map the assessments that we are doing. That is what.
So can
we make a suggestion?
Hmm.
Because this is what the team, sorry.
Dakshan sister has.
Sure will do, right?
Yes.
So we as a group who are content creators and who are very familiar with Bloom's taxonomy and everything, so we are still getting in terms with the terms,
Hmm.
the new terms. So a teacher perhaps who's going to fill this, I'm not sure whether she will be able to think of the learning outcomes first and then start, even though that should be the actual way of doing it. So in the beginning, as a preparatory stage, can she take a look at, let us say, recognize ingredients present in the dish? Okay, go through that material or the approach that is there and decide for herself whether she wants that outcome from the children, and then she puts it there. And
Yes.
then that choice of the asset will automatically come down.
Come. Yes.
So can she read up the thing and
Mhm.
then do this?
Yes.
Suggestion.
Yes, that's a good idea, right? So what we can do, what the teacher can do is read this objective, scroll down, go through that asset. That's what you're saying, right? Yes. Go through that asset. Then yes, this is something I can do. This is something my children can do. This is something for which I have facilities in my class to run this activity or to do this. Okay. Then the teacher says, okay. So then pick that objective and put it over here. Okay, that is one thing. Another thing also is sometimes one asset might come. Yes. Okay. For those who are not familiar with our MLP, when you open our master lesson plan, this first asset, which you see over here, asset number 1, MS objectives. In all our MLPs, our master lesson plans, the first main script is the learning objectives for the entire chapter. For each asset in the MLP, there is one learning objective over here. Okay, so if you find 15 learning objectives here, that means there are 15 assets in that chapter. All right, 15 assets for that chapter, for that MLP. Sorry? Sorry, ma'am, is something I missed? Okay.
So that if you have time, you can show because that.
We'll do that in the post-meet sessions, no? All the exceptions and details. Now, just the overall thing we are working with. Okay, so once what ma'am is saying is in IDM and the newer content, there are some variations. So we will look at those, right? From when we get there, right? Right now, we are just looking at what this process is. When we say you have to handhold a teacher to create, chapter teaching plan, before you sign up for it, I want you to see what a chapter teaching plan is so that you feel you can think and decide, okay, this is something I can do or this is something I cannot do, right? That is it. All right. So now there is another thing. If suppose there is the second or third, the prepare tasty food is the third asset here because it's, as ma'am says, it might be an IE. All right. So maybe I feel I want to do it later, not earlier. Okay, that order also they can change as they choose. That is the reason we have broken down the MLP into so many small assets and provided separate teaching aids, and also that they can, the teacher can feel, can take and choose and change the order in whichever way they are comfortable, right? So now once that is done, now the teacher can click on whatever assets they have chosen. Okay, so just randomly I'm clicking, I'm not checking now for want of time. Then comes the first 40-minute period. So the period number 1. Okay, so what am I going to cover? Now here the first one is students will recognize ingredients present in the dish. So what is that asset? That is a suggested activity. Okay, so in the first 40-minute period, I am doing one suggested activity. Okay, then we are also trying to keep this whole preparation of the teaching plan as simple and as easy as possible for the teacher. Okay. Then the suggested activity is 10 minutes. Okay, so that means I have another 30 minutes. I can do more assets. So I will go and check what is my next learning objective. Student will identify uh, the sources of food. So that is the next one. So I go to the next one. That is a main script and it says 8 minutes. Okay, so I go there and I click on main script. Okay, so although this says 10 minutes and 8 minutes, I feel that, you know, in my class, I have to say it in English, then I have to say it in Telugu or Kannada or whatever. So it is going to take me more time. Okay, my students will take more time. So I feel these two assets are enough. I can stop here and I can go on to the next period. If I feel that I can cover more assets, I can take the next asset. Let us say, just assume that the next one is an IA. I can click on the IA. You get the idea? Okay, so this is the selection of the assets. After that, after the selection of assets, we have this, whatever your own creative idea or innovative idea. Okay, so maybe the teachers thinks, okay, during the week that I'm teaching this, I'm taking this from Monday to Thursday. From Monday to Thursday, I can ask, you know, each child to come, and I can maybe have a chart in the classroom, and I'm going to ask each child to come and write what they had for breakfast that day and what they have brought for lunch. Okay, so without writing names, just children come and write what they have brought. Now that is my own idea. As a teacher, I have come up with that idea. So I can put that idea here. Okay, so start activity and I describe that activity. Okay, student will come and write. Now this also becomes a writing activity. This also becomes participative. The students are also participating. I am happy with that activity, so I am putting that activity there. So now this is the teacher's innovative activity. As academic coordinators, when we look at the teacher's lesson plans, we need to look for these. We need to encourage, we need to talk to the teacher, listen to the teacher. What is your idea? Okay, and please do not be critical about their idea at that time. If we criticize, next time they will not put anything there. Okay, please show appreciation. You know, oh yes, the children will enjoy it. It will be fun in the beginning till you establish that rapport with the teacher whom you are mentoring. Please do not give any feedback at this point. It is okay. However, that activity is, it is all right. Shraddha Sabhi. We need to give them time to grow into that role. Okay. So in the beginning, it is okay. Even if you feel that activity is not right, it is all right. Just let them do it. Let them learn. Okay. When we are doing classroom observation, we can give a little bit of just positive feedback, suggestion. Maybe if you could think of adding this, you know, maybe that maybe they themselves might tell you, you know, that I planned that way, but it did not go well. Okay. Then we can ask, why do you think it didn't go well? Try to get the response from them rather than suggesting to them. Suggestions are rarely taken, right? We complain about knee pain, back pain. The moment somebody says join yoga class, okay, I don't have that. But when we decide that we want to join yoga class or we want to start yoga, we always do, right? It should come from the same thing with everybody else. That is the basic human nature. So please avoid giving suggestions. Please try to ask them questions, and if they are able to come up with it, great. Okay. So then the TLMs also need to be planned. So what do you see in this plan which is different from what the teachers have been doing or what you have seen other teachers do? Or if you yourself are a teacher, 2-3 main things can you identify? At least 2 I feel are easily identified. Saina? In what? The teacher is a participant. But the teacher is not creating the MLP, no? The teacher is using the MLP. But even otherwise, even in the traditional lesson planning process, the teacher is only deciding what she is going to teach, how she is going to teach, right? There's a subtle difference. In a traditional lesson, okay. In a traditional, okay, yes, I will listen. Hmm.
Choice to be creative. And then
Okay.
it is also inspiring and motivating for any individual to add their own knowledge. Each teacher is creative. So depending on the state board textbook, depending on the local materials that they can provide in the school, this is giving a lot of flexibility to the teacher there having to add something on her own. At the same time, very well organized pattern is set there.
Okay.
It's very well organized. So they are setting it into the organized way of planning ahead for going to a class.
Okay. All right. Any other observations? Yes, ma'am. Can you please pass the mic to Renu Sikkema? Can't hear you, ma'am.
What if the teacher rejects 50% of the lesson plan? There is a space for her to add. I mean, not just a suggestion,
Hmm.
but own assets, her own.
So that is the space over here are her ideas, her innovative ideas. Over here. Yes, Sarah. 1 second, before you ask your question, I will want to answer hers. So this is the space where she mentions what are the activities. When the 40-minute period plans come, there is space for them to detail that plan. Okay, that space is provided in the next template. Did that answer your question, ma'am? Yes, brother, somebody, yes.
Hello.
Yes.
So when the teacher is, if you're going to class, they're sending the session, without a new plan you are creating. I think that if the new item is introduced, the teacher is teaching the class so many activities they are doing. So many photos and activities, there should be one link. 1, 2 photo that should be uploaded in the particular chapter if they have done in the classroom. And one link will be there, 1 minute video, 2 minute video also they will upload in that link. I think that when you are creating, there's a link will be there in the Discord part.
We have created them. We
Nice
have
to meet
created a
you.
link. Thank you, thank you. We are so glad to come to hear the suggestion come from a school that shows us that we are all thinking alike.
Thank
That's
you.
great. Thank you so much. We have already created that link. Name and school, brother.
Varivada school from Odisha, so to say, they were Varivada. Ajit Kumar Sav, Vice Principal, and I'm taking Math Standard 6 to 10. Thank you, Sairam.
Yes.
We are having a TLM folder for all classes chapters, where teacher can pick the TLM from that.
Okay, we have to show that then. Yes. Okay. Now, we are at the TLM, no, ma'am. Can you show? Can you show? Instead of me stumbling around, it's better. Yes, this is the. Grade 6. Where to open the chapter? Yeah. She's giving you time. What is the time? 11:09. Okay. Good point. Wait, I'll give you. Sairam, what fell?
Just skipping.
Teaching learning.
Bring this and then go.
Yeah.
Just bring this.
Yeah, please. Within the same chapter. Yeah. Okay. All the chapters are
Zaira, this plan also can be used by teachers. Suppose unexpectedly the teacher is going on a leave, and she has planned for that particular those periods of her absence. This will be very useful. So that case, so we have to insist that the teacher does this. It is useful for her, for the school or the coordinator. The coordinator can just pick it up and give it to the substitute or the substitute science teacher if it is for a very long thing. So
Yeah.
that way, the whole system of taking the in the order the chapters have to be taken they can be done. So that
Yeah,
is also
that's a
one
good
use
suggestion.
of this.
That's a good suggestion. Yes. So now,
Just one, looking at this, one thing probably we could consider adding is that a place for preparation. Now, whether this creative, innovative ideas, like you say chart activity, that would require at least a chart paper to be present. The teacher has to probably prepare some chart, blank chart with something, so that the children can come and do it. So that would have to be done at least a day earlier. Similarly, when you are talking about TLM, some TLM may require 1 or 2 days of preparation. Now, so that is something normally people miss out. Can we include some place for them to?
we have included that in the 40-minute plan. You would prefer that over here?
No, if it is there somewhere else, it's
It is
fine.
there in the 40-minute plan.
Yeah.
But this will give a comprehensive idea.
So you prefer, do you suggest that we bring that to the chapter teaching plan? This is for the whole chapter. Overall.
Okay, so in the whole chapter, okay, what I have seen so far in my research is that simple things also teachers do not bring into the classroom.
Yes.
I teach something about geography or history. I don't even bring a map into the classroom. I don't bring a globe into the classroom. Okay, these are simple things, right? But still, it is available in the staff room or somewhere else. It's available. The teacher has to keep a note somewhere, mental note, physical note, wherever, to ensure that it reaches the classroom.
Yes.
Or if I want to talk about, a plant, leaf, parts of the plant or something like that, even if I have to pull the plant which is just growing outside, I need to plan it somewhere. So it can be a TLM, but I need to be prepared to get the plant. Or if I want to show different type of seeds, anything, all of this would require some planning where the if it is
So it is there in the 40-minute plan.
Okay.
Should we bring it into, this is the question. What does everybody think?
It's up for debate.
Yeah, what's everybody think? Huh? We should, is it better we plan at the chapter level for bringing things or for preparing for TLM or something? Notes on preparation. Okay. Can you please make note? We will add it later.
40-minute plan is better.
It's better. Okay, there are two different opinions.
Sai Rama, one
Sorry.
thing I'm just taking, I'm just having problem in the classroom. And the CBC already deleted so many chapters.
Sorry, 1 second. I think we have already moved naturally into the next part of the session. Can somebody mind map the challenges that are coming up? So this is one of those that, we have to provide space for teacher to plan, prepare for the class, right? So that is one point. Yes, brother.
One thing, so then the 40 students in the class, 4 students, high level students are there. And this year, CBSE has got so many topics, content also related. Whenever I'm teaching the class, and the guardian meeting, and teaching all these things, the deleted content also we are showing, the PPT also teaching the class. And the things, parents are telling, as the CBSE is card, why are teaching? The small things they are not accepting, big things are teaching here. I think that the content is created new now. I think that should be deleted. What is CBSE card, already got?
No. Yeah.
30% deleted, all the things.
That is right. What you are saying is the deleted portions from the syllabus is still there in the MLP, in the
Yes.
learning content. That would be there. Okay. So that is why this teaching plan will help. Because you have the choice to choose what you want from there.
I think it's easy to teach out automatically what the contents are available about the content. They will summarize all these things.
What if after 2 years they again increase it?
Exactly. The same content we gave here.
All are available. 7 contents are available. Extra things is there. But CBSE has got all these things.
Sir, CBSE has started for 9 weeks because they are making a transition. Tomorrow when they finish making the transition, we will move it back. So we will, the teacher takes the responsibility to teach what is relevant for them in that particular year. You have the syllabus, sir. The school has the syllabus, right? They
Yes,
are
sir.
sent syllabus every year, but content creation cannot happen so frequently.
All I'm not the teachers in that school are also telling you. all are available.
So
So,
that is where the training team is pitching in to say the teacher is the one who's competent enough to decide. In my classroom, there's only so much that I need to do. There may be another parallel school where the teacher wants, has students who can get a little bit more. So why not?
yes, yes.
So school to school, year to year, the teacher is the leader in the class. She or he can do what he or she thinks is best.
Okay.
He will not be able to decide on that. He will give whatever is basic requirement and necessity which pertains to that chapter. Or let us use the word now onwards, concept. He will
Okay.
give that. So please explain to the teacher, take a decision suitably, depending on the class and students, the year, and so on, syllabus. And so on.
Thank you, Professor. Thank you. Yes.
Brother, on the internet, when we go also, you'll find so much material, right? We only pick and choose what we require. The same principle we can apply here also. Any extra is there, you feel it is not necessary for your class, the teacher need not take, that's all. So that is where this planner helps. Right? So, okay. So that doubt is cleared. Okay. Now, Saira. 40-minute period template is ready, sir, but we don't have time to cover everything in this session. So that we are going to do post-meet sessions. Okay? Yes.
Actually, we are filling this form before starting the academy.
Yes, I will come to that. Yes.
And for example, when we are teaching one day class over, next day after starting the lesson, I got a new idea. Is there any edit option in this?
Yes, we have provided edit option. You can edit and get it re-emailed to you, the fresh, latest version. We have created that option. Okay, so for TLMs, we have provided along with, now here when you go into a chapter, you will see this is the master lesson plan which I clicked on earlier. Then here are the teaching aids. You click here, you will see all the teaching aids, the PPTs, videos, whatever, multimedia. And then you go down, you click here, whatever TLM is for that chapter, it is available there. Okay? So what is the concept? What you need, how to get ready for it. Okay, is there any activity sheet that you can prepare for it? There are 2 TLMs. You can choose. There are 3 TLMs in this. What you need, get ready, and let us start. What you were talking about, how I prepare before the class, right? So if suppose I want to show a bean germinating in a plastic bottle, okay, 4 stages of germination of a bean, I should prepare at least a week or 10 days in advance, depending on the weather, right? So that preparation you can pick up from here and put it there, or you can plan on your own. The provision is provided. Okay. So the provision is there in the 40-minute teaching plan also. So once this is done, and some TLM we have made it mandatory because of this problem that teachers are walking into the class without anything interesting for children to see. It can be anything, right? So for this, the teacher can just bring one steel dabba. Naturally, the curiosity is picked what is in that dabba. That is also enough. And inside that, they can have, a little bit of a few grains of dal or rice or something all mixed up, and it can become an activity for the students to separate them and identify the ingredients. Quickly, it can become an activity, right? So even that we want to suggest and help the teacher plan and develop those activities. So this is mandatory. Something has to be filled in for TLMs. So once that is filled in, then you can submit. Once submitted, a copy will go to the teacher's email ID with which they are logging into the LMS. So even if they say, I don't have LMS app on my phone or something, their email will be there, right? So in that email, that lesson plan is available, the chapter plan is available. Same provision we have provided for the 40-minute period plans also. if the teacher creates 4 40-minute plans, all of them will be available. All right. So now let us look at the challenges that you have already been brought up. Quickly, we will go through what do you think are the challenges that you will face as an academic coordinator when you are handholding teachers for creating these chapter teaching plans based on learning objectives, not on the content in the textbook. That is the big switch that we are making. Okay, big switch is till now lesson plans are being created, keeping in mind the content in the chapter. Now, as our MLPs are being created, teachers also need to plan based on the learning outcomes that they want their students to attain. Okay, that is the big switch. That is why we are moving away from the CCDP also, because CCDP is still based on textbook content. Right? According to the NCF, the textbook is a mere outline, a guide. Okay. The real learning outcomes need to be met through the teaching learning processes in the school. All right. So for that, you have to just take the concepts from the textbook and look at what are the learning outcomes that need to be met, and based on that, you create the plan, and based on the plan you teach, and then you check whether those outcomes are being met through the classroom observations. Is the process clear now? Right? Okay. Any points that you feel we need to address, any problems you feel that will pop up when you start this process? As what are the questions that are coming to your mind? Suppose you have signed up to be an academic coordinator, or you are a school management who needs to transition your teachers into this new lesson plan. What are the problems that you seem to pop into your mind? Brother, I think you raised your hand. Can somebody pass a mic over there, please? Please give a quick introduction to yourself, sir. And
Myself, Vishwavi from Sikkim, Bangalore. This is such a lovely lesson that I have. So much organization, so much of flexibility. That we have maybe lesson plans for class 9 and 10.
For class 9 and 10?
We follow CBSE books.
Mhm.
CBSE. Therefore, if we have such kind of lesson plans for class 9,
You're talking about our Vidyavahini content.
Vidyavahini.
For 10th class, we don't have. 9th class, I will request Suhasini ma'am to answer that question. Is there another mic?
Another question I have from my now since we are following the
From the LMS.
the mic
LMS
switching
also,
and
one copy will be there.
how are we going to
The school will access it, we will also access it.
mic switching?
We have content which is, if you want from the first 5, the 3 kgs plus 2, that is a different category of content we have, and we also have the regular content. Both the content. So if you go into LMS in the details and you find a content available to you till grade 9. CBSE till grade 9, every single chapter and every single subject is available to you. Okay, it might look a little different, so we'll come to that in a different session.
Yes, so one question that came up, and then I will, please pass the mic to her. I'll address a question that my colleague suggested. Where will the school management find this lesson plan that the teacher has created? Now it will get emailed to the teacher can access on their phone. Our academic coordinators will access it on the LMS. The school leadership will also access it on the LMS. We will be providing all of you access to these folders on the LMS. So you will also access your own teachers' lesson plans on the LMS. All right? Okay. Yeah, your question, sister. That point also you write. No? Access the. Yes.
See the lesson plan which you are assuming that the teacher should do. That means that to go to this step, the person has to read the entire MLP in depth, because then only he can say period one this and this.
Yes.
So I don't, I'm not sure whether that is adding to the teacher's lesson planning or it is reducing the workload, because you said they have to get time. So instead, can we not suggest, like suppose there is food and nutrition, and we know that 5 periods are to be done. So, ideal lesson plan of each period. First period, you should have this learning outcome, this suggested activity, and IQ. Second period, 40
That is
minutes,
also
this is
addressed.
the learning, and it should be a downloadable PPT which has the relevant activity, relevant QA, relevant, so that I just download, I go to the class, open the PPT, and it completes my test. I don't have to use my, sorry to say, brain at all.
Okay, so this is again another suggestion about how our content can be repackaged. Right? Okay, so however, the discussion now is what are the challenges we would face when the teacher is transitioning from scribbling something at 11 o'clock in the night to creating a teaching plan. Sorry, because that I cannot address, only the content team can address that. So I'm parking that question. At some point, I'm sure they will address it for you. Yes, somebody else? Yes, brother? Mic for him, please. Can you pass a mic? Yeah, they are giving it.
Hello. I have a question, ma'am. I don't know whether it's an out of syllabus question. So now when you process, you need to align all the assessment to see whether the children have achieved the learning outcomes.
Yes.
That's going to be the test.
Yes.
So are we going to modify all the existing assessment to incorporate an assessment methodology which will tell the teacher whether the child has achieved the learning?
Okay, that is again a question for the content team. Okay, all right. So, yes, sir. Please quickly give an introduction to yourself. Yes, yes. Yes. And our lesson plans are geared to attain those learning outcomes if transacted properly. Sir, I think I will combine what DP brother raised and what Balakrishna brother raised. Our lesson plans are far more capable than what currently is happening in most of the small towns, rural, semi-rural schools to attain those outcomes. When if taught in the correct method, intended when you were creating the content, right? If taught in that correct method, our MLP, if implemented in the classroom, the correct method, it is far more likely that the students will attain those learning outcomes. That is why this endeavor. That is why we are going to each teacher, hand-holding them, enabling them to transact the content in this method so that we are able to, our students are able to attain those learning outcomes. Huh? Yes, ma'am. Please, ma'am. Yes. Somebody can pass a mic. Somewhere here there was a mic. Oh, okay, you can go to this mic, ma'am.
I'm just adding to what Chandra has said. That is a valid point which at least the team sitting here should have caught on early. The very objective of creating content was so that we are able to meet learning outcome. And if you look at the learning objective, it says the students will be able to, the content team will be able to do only till that point. Beyond that, the teachers have to see whether the outcome has been attained in her classroom or not. To answer your question, whether we have a rubric to see whether that measurement has occurred or not, many of the students, in some of the chapters, the assessment should take you to that level. Hopefully, if used in the manner in which it is intended. Okay, so there is bound to be some discrepancy which can be filled in by the trainer or the teacher in the classroom, depending on the level of the students, right? Thank you.
Just one another thing, are we going to change our content? That was your question. No, we will not touch the existing content. The endeavor is to supplement existing one. Wherever needed, we will create additional, what do you call, some kind of content and it will be added to the same thing. Okay, what we call enrichment. We have been waiting to show it to you guys since last afternoon. Sometime today we'll show it. Yes, brother. Yes, brother. Whatever is needed, that is the entire endeavor.
Yeah, so the enrichment that brother is talking about right now, Subbu is talking about.
Yeah.
Subbu is talking about right now, that enrichment is basically for the Sairam, Om Shri Sairam. The enrichment that we are talking about is for the content which was created in the past. The content for the grade 9, I really hope that Subbush is able to show it to you today. You will see a drastic jump, and since last meet that we had last January, we have changed our approach. It's a period-wise module given with every little content objective added there. Thank you. There is a lot of addition coming from different directions. So that module will not undergo any, even it may not require enrichment, except that we will, map it to the competency that is required. Just two blocks which we need to fill up. So to answer your question, it's already there. The teacher has to put in a little effort to see what is there.
No, that's what I was about.
Thank you, thank you.
Content creators, we have already created almost, if you have to compare, we have more than 80% or even we can say 90% we have already created based on the learning outcomes.
Exactly.
Starting
Exactly. So we should walk into the role with that conviction that our content is capable of supporting the teacher in the students attaining those learning outcomes.
When we start our MLP planning itself, we align ourselves from the beginning, from the day one start of our creation. Some years back also, we have been aligning ourselves only with the learning outcomes, competencies. Only thing is, we have to slightly upgrade ourselves, which might be some 10% or 15% max. So most of the assets that you refer to will definitely have the learning outcomes that we have created or we have planned already.
Only if
Yes, only because
transacted.
these terminologies or these innovative techniques that we have been using, we haven't mentioned it as terms in the MLPs. That's it.
Also, that will be attained.
Yes, and we do have a personal asset planner as the authors that we create. We sit with our mentors, reviewers, and a full team. We sit. We align where our learning outcomes have to be. Every question or even the questions to assess that sir had said, we have that cater to the needs of the high order thinking students, the middle level students, the normal students, and the inclusive, the students as well. We try to do, but then definitely we do have included a lot of high order thinking questions in every asset of questions to assess. If you can refer to, you will find.
And it needs to be transacted in the method intended. Only then that learning outcome can be met. So going forward, as NCF rolls out everywhere, schools will have to show that their students are meeting those learning outcomes. Otherwise, they are going to be in trouble. All right. So the easiest, simplest way for any school to elevate the level of teaching learning experience in their school is to simply adopt our MLPs. Okay, and bring in whatever innovation the teacher would like to bring and transact it in the classroom wherever available. What from class 1 to 9 it is available for English, EVS, Math, Science, and Social Studies. Okay, this much comprehensive content of this level, I doubt that it is available anywhere else. Okay, I'm actually pretty sure. I'm just trying to be very conservative in my statement. Okay, so now we will quickly go over the process. So how is all this? Sorry, sir, please. Sorry, I forgot, sir.
Sir, regarding the 40 minutes preparation, the teacher must be burdened with more work only actually. Because she has to, earlier sisters, somebody say, ready-made. She has to go back and forth with this form also. See, so something like drop-down menu, what are the items she can choose. It's time for her. I think that also you have to have it, because already see, they have hardly half an hour to say that.
That is why we have created a process for the schools to take the lesson planning out of the daily duty of the teacher. So we were just going to come to that next. After that session, I hope that question will be addressed, sir. Ma'am, you had something to say? Okay, all right. Thanks. So this is not, the 40-minute period planning should not happen every day. That we have to be very clear. That is not something that will happen on a daily basis. Okay, so if we are done with this discussion, we will move on to the next part, and then we have a small activity for. Yeah. Why am I not able to manage this? Sure. For the schools, one second. We'll get you a mic, ma'am. Ma'am, your mic is off. We can't hear it.
Sarah Manado, good morning. I have been a teacher and I have taught class 9 and 10, 8, 9 and 10. My experience has told me that without preparation, I cannot get a class. Okay, the first time I do a good chapter, I have to prepare I did not call them as TLS that time because this kind of practice was not there. I was unfortunate. And this kind of lesson planning.
Please keep the mic closer to you.
These lessons were not there. So I made my own preparation for every chapter that I taught. And for geography, I taught the lower classes. I took the teaching learning materials to my class to show them, even if I was doing wrong, even if I was doing something like that, something for the child to see and get attracted and interested in the class. So it is a teacher's onus to prepare herself before she goes to the class or he goes to the class. The first time you look at the MFPs, you look at that and you think, oh my God, so much work I have to do. But you don't know how much of work has been reduced. The preparation time for you has been reduced. You have to go through your chapter, pick your assets, your objectives, and then deliver that in the classroom. Things have been very, very easy with this form of asset creation by Sri Satya Sai Vidya Vahini. And I'm really feeling bad that I did not get this opportunity when I was teaching this.
Same here, yes. How much we have slogged to prepare for it. For an hour of class.
One is going through the chapter, one is going through the MLP. This is a must for every
Yes.
You cannot bypass that.
Year one may be difficult, maybe a laborious one. But year two, they just do a little after.
Yes, so time crunch.
As coordinators and all, prepare yourself. Don't go to class empty-handed and empty-headed. How are you going to use the smart boards? How are you going to use the chalkboard? Please prepare yourself. And we were looking into the preparation and for interactive sessions. Thank you so much for giving me this opportunity. Sarah.
Thank you, ma'am. Okay, so now we are going to quickly go over, which will actually answer a couple of your questions. Okay, we are going to go over the process of how these academic coordinators from Vidya Vahini helping teachers within the schools, okay, and those two roles, one of filling lesson plans, preparing using our teaching plans, and the second of doing classroom observations. These two roles, how we have created a sort of a process for this to happen. So what that process is, I will go over quickly, okay. So the first part of the right. So the first part of this is the job of the school. Okay, the school leadership, management, administration, whatever your roles. Yes, sir.
Sorry for the interruption. Sister Valli is passing a picture, Akshata and a picture. It is the Ayodhya temple picture and the Akshata. I think this is an initiative by the Rama Janmabhoomi Kshetra Trust. They have given to the central trust to distribute to everyone. So as part of that, the prasadam is coming your way. Please accept it.
It's excellent. Yes. This PPT, yes, I can share with all those who sign up for academic coordinators. Yes, yes, definitely. Or we will put it on the LMS. Or we'll put it on the LMS. So everybody who has a role in the Lighthouse School program will access it. Okay. All right. So here the schools, please pay attention. The school managements and principal, please pay attention. When at the beginning of the term, before students start coming to school, please provide 3 to 7 days, depending on your requirement and your ability to provide. Please provide 3 to 7 days for creating these teaching plans. The teachers do not have any other duties at that time, no other distractions, only planning for the next term. This is absolutely essential for Lighthouse schools. Okay, you set the example, you set the trend, you show that it works, then we will take it to all the other schools. All right? Mahatma School. Yes. So where did we get this whole idea about this lesson planning, academic coordinators? All of this we got from Mahatma School. Okay, Mahatma School in Madurai. I'm sure all of you are familiar with, right? They have been giving us a lot of guidance. Their teachers are our trainers. They have teachers of such great caliber that they are all our trainers. We went to visit Mahatma schools to learn what they are doing right, that we can take and apply to our Lighthouse schools. So these are all outcomes of that visit and our learning from our visits to Mahatma School, right? So teachers need to be provided special time for lesson planning, that is used for creating our teaching plans. Did I go to the next one? Yes, okay. Then during this time, teachers, now suppose there are 2 science teachers, okay, you have 3 sections or something and you have 2 science teachers. Those 2 science teachers will share the load. Okay, so there are 8 chapters in science in term 1. You have 2 science teachers. Each teacher will get 4 chapters to prepare and they will share. So that is collaborative work over there. All right. So in all other professions, professionals work together and they collaborate. Why are teachers forced to work on their own and pitted against each other, compared with each other? That is not fair. Teachers also need to be provided an environment where they can collaborate with each other. Okay. Then once they prepare the chapter plans for that term, then they prepare the 40-minute period-wise lesson plans also during that time. All right. So for the first 2 terms, what we are offering from Vidyavahini's side is when those 3 days of preparation are happening in your school, our academic coordinators will be available on call. Okay, online. They will be available online to clear the doubts, to handhold the teachers, to provide all the support that is needed for the teachers to create those chapter plans and the 40-minute teaching plans. Okay. And then, so this period of planning before each term needs to be budgeted for in your academic calendar from next academic year onwards. Okay. For Lighthouse schools, we are mandating it. And this should not become part of the teacher's vacation time. Okay. So this has to be part of the academic calendar. All right. Now, there are templates on the LMS like I showed you just now for chapter wise and 40-minute period plans. Both are available on the LMS. And now the role of the state team comes in. The SRC for the Lighthouse School will check with the school and inform the academic coordinators as and when the lesson plans become ready. Okay, so what is ready? Yes, brother? Mike.
Teachers to sit together and prepare chapter wise and period wise. Would this not be interdisciplinary?
This lends itself, it provides the opportunity for teachers to prepare interdisciplinary lesson
Should we
plans.
not make it, not, I don't want to use the word mandate, I will mandate it, but can we provide that line?
Okay, we will add that.
So
Please
that
make
it means, consciously we will ensure teachers sit together is not, I mean, anyway they are sitting together in a staff room, but this is to ensure that the teachers of those grades come together across subject so that an interdisciplinary approach is taken.
Brother, from our observations of so many schools, very rarely I see our high school teachers sitting in a classroom, in a staff room. Okay, they rarely have that opportunity to interact with each other and share professional ideas. Yes.
We should bring them
Together.
couple of days before.
Yes.
Right? Because see, some of this what is being discussed now could be completely, against what you have been practicing today. Okay, you may not be aware of this could be disturbing for you, but that is the reality. Because whether you are a state-run board or a syllabus or whichever syllabus, these things are coming into play. Okay. So we don't have a choice. We need to do interdisciplinary. We need to change the way we are working. We need to restructure ourselves.
Yes, create an interdisciplinary lesson plan.
Whichever way people understand me. Okay, they all know me. What I mean, they know me. So what I'm saying is that let us consciously start practicing. We need to find. Okay, see, currently the schools are not structured in a way, right? Currently, out of 8 periods, most of the schools they have 7 periods. Teachers are occupied. So we need to find ways. We need to enable. It's a new thing. We all have to work together. That's what I'm saying.
Yes, so one interdisciplinary teaching plan per term is the minimum required now. Okay, if you are innovative and you want to do more, well and good, it's good for your students. They build competencies, they attain curricular goals, right? But if you do at least one interdisciplinary plan per term, per subject, per class, that is good enough for now. Okay. So then moving on, the state team's role comes in. So the SRC who has been assigned for that school will inform the academic coordinators when the lesson plans are ready. Now we are finalizing the rubrics for what should you expect in a lesson plan. Okay, so with those rubrics, the academic coordinators will be able to check the lesson plan. Is this there? Is this there? Is this there? Is this okay? Is this there? Okay, then that lesson plan is good to go. If something is missing, then again we need to tell the SRCs, these 4 teachers plan you had provided to me. Out of those 4, these 2 teaching plans, there is the problem here. We need to address. So they will set up a call. You can get on a call individually with those teachers and iron that out. Is that clear? The process? Okay. And then, so this whole process needs to be closed within 10 days of the submission of the lesson plan. We are still using lesson plan, but it is actually, we are trying to change it to a teaching plan because we don't want the lesson to be the whole center of the idea. It is the teaching process that is where we need to focus, right? Then, now, how will the classroom observations work? Now, this whole thing will be over by June. All right. For Sikkim, it will be over in February, and for the other schools, it will be over by June. Then come the classroom observations. So academic coordinators, subject wise, we are requesting you to prepare a calendar of your availability for the next month. By the 21st of this month, if you all the science academic coordinators, you get on a call and prepare a calendar of your availability. You will kind of know when you are traveling, when you have classes or you have work, you are not available, you are available. So based on that, kind of prepare a calendar of availability for the coming month. Then this calendar, we are going to provide a space on the LMS where you will upload it. So the schools can access that calendar. The state teams can also access that calendar. So the state teams will coordinate with the schools and ensure that by Friday, every Friday for the next week. Okay, so at least 3 slots can be provided per teacher. We are asking for 3 slots now because this is a new process for us also, right? For us also to make time and be available for that. It takes us time. Maybe out of 2 academic coordinators, only 1 is available. Okay, so that is why we are trying to figure out. So for now, we are asking for 3 slots per teacher per class. Okay, if you, sorry, 3 slots per teacher per subject. Okay, so that you have to provide, and then for out of those 3 slots, whichever they are available, the academic coordinators will say, okay, Tuesday 10 to 10:45 class, we are available. They confirm. So we will be providing on that sheet itself where you can confirm. Once you confirm, then the school will prepare for classroom observation. They will facilitate with the help of the state team where required. Okay. So through this process, we want to ensure that every teacher has been observed, has been in a live classroom observation at least once in 2 months. So now after that, when the next 2-month cycle comes, please try to observe the same teacher that you have observed last time. This is something we have been struggling with in the past also. So we are trying to bring that process here. So if you are observing the same teacher every other month, okay, or every 3rd month in a school year, you will be able to see that growth. Okay, that is helpful for the school also to see which teacher is growing, who needs more help, right? And then when they have their performance review or anything, this input also will be helpful to them to see the growth in the teacher. All right. All right. So the teachers selected for classroom observation, they would be from class 1 to 9, English, EVS, Math, Science, or Social Studies. As of now, we don't have enough capacity to provide observers for Hindi and vernacular languages. Okay, so as of now, we have only capacity for this much. So we are restricting ourselves to this and class 1 to 9 only. This is again information for the school and state teams. All right, so and also whenever you set up classroom observation, please ensure that the teacher is planning to use SSSDV content. All right, because our main purpose of doing this huge exercise is so that we ensure that our content is being transacted in the way that it is intended to be. All right. Then now when we are observing, what are we going to look for? All right. So for that, we have created a template. We will be sharing this template with you. You are free to tell the teachers, the school teams, please note, please tell the teachers on what parameters we are going to be observing them. This will be made available along with this PPT on the LMS for all of you to observe. All right. For all of you to study. So here we are looking at what kind of class starter the teacher is providing. All of this is there. We will be covering all of that in the post-meet sessions. We will have about 3 post-meet sessions. Otherwise, we cannot all get a grip of this. This is too short a time for us to get a grip of this. So whether the teacher checked previous knowledge or not, how did they check? And then what were the main activities conducted that day? And what was the quality of the student-teacher interaction? right? But the teacher just asked, children, did you understand? Yes, teacher. Was that the only interaction or was something more than that happening over there, right? So then what were the instructions given when the activities were done? What was the clarity in the instructions? Those kinds of things. So these you can please go through. We will go through this thoroughly in our post-meet sessions and we will discuss how to fill, where to fill, right? How to make sure that everything is captured over here. All of this we will be discussing. And then now some important notes. This is mostly for the state teams who are attending here. So the state teams will be actively coordinating with the teachers and the academic coordinators to facilitate this process that it happens smoothly. This is the responsibility of the state teams. Okay. So the SRCs will be constantly in touch with the SPOCs of the school. Now suppose a teacher has created a lesson plan and it has come to their email, but somewhere they are saying, I don't know where my lesson plan is. Okay, that is not a good enough excuse for not using the content, right? So the SPOC should be informed. If the SPOC is able to solve the problem, excellent. If the SPOC is not able to solve the problem, so some of the schools we have seen very efficient, very good SPOCs. I would like to give a shout out to our SPOC from Baripada School, Jyotsna sister, who is not here today, but I would like a big round of applause for her. And I hope Baripada team, please take it back to and tell Jyotsna sister that we appreciated the way she has coordinated everything for Vidyavahini. That is the level of coordination we want. We are actually going to, we are planning to get her to do a session for all the lighthouse schools on how to do the coordination for implementation of SSSVV in the lighthouse school. Okay, and yeah, so when you are providing names for academic coordination, please avoid vernacular languages. That part I have covered, except when SOPAN implementation is taking place. Please inform us then. We have many SOPAN trainers on our teams. We will try to get them to observe those sessions. Okay. Then they need our academic coordinator program currently is going to need a lot of support, active support, proactive support from the state teams. Okay, from the SRCs and the coordinators and the state leads. They need to stay on top of it, and we are going to require a lot of support from the state teams to make this endeavor a success. Okay, so I hope that we get that commitment from the state teams for this. Yeah, so that was my, what do I say, the prayer to Swami and humble request to all of you to work together, to work proactively. Any problem, bring it to us immediately. Okay, we will all, this is a new process. We are all, walking into it with blindfolds. Okay, because we know our Swami will lead us. So please give your 100%, or like Karna ma'am likes to say 108% to this. And let us finally get all our schools to use our content in every class, in every subject, wherever it is available. So right now we are almost into 12 o'clock. So we wanted to do a quick activity now where let us say we pair up, all of you pair up, okay, and one of you take on the role of the teacher and another take on the role of the academic coordinator or the school management, okay, and the teacher says, I have this problem, I have that problem, I'm not able to use this new teaching plan, I have various problems. We can pick up problems that have already been written here or whatever problems come to your mind. And the other person try to work out how you will provide support, that loving support, how Swami provides, right? How would you provide that loving support to the teacher so that they feel empowered to take it forward, okay? So once you figure that out, I want you to, that each pair, once you figured it out, come to this room. We have provided chart paper. So I write what the problem is and write what solution you have provided so that we can digitize this and share it with everyone. All right. So just pair up, figure out a complaint that you think that the teacher might have or take some that are already being discussed and provide the solution as academic coordinator. Come on, you can pair up now quickly. Huh? One challenge. Only one challenge per pair. We only have that much time. Only one challenge per pair. We are going to extend to 12:15, that is the maximum.